He was never the face on the album cover, but without him, some of rock's most iconic albums might have sounded completely different. The man many fans called the sixth member of Aerosmith has just passed away at 80, leaving behind a story that feels almost unreal. Long before the fame, he was just a kid in the Bronx obsessed with sound. His favorite toy wasn't a guitar, it was a tape recorder he got for his birthday. That tiny machine sparked something. Years later, he walked into record plant studios in New York, not as a producer, not as an engineer, but as a janitor. And this is where things get interesting. By day he cleaned the floors. By night he was secretly a client in the same studio, scoring ABC after-school specials and begging engineers to let him sit in on sessions. Record Plant eventually gave him midnight access to record anyone he wanted for free. Local bands, unknown artists, raw talent. Those late-night demos, they're what helped Billy Joel land his Columbia record deal in 1972. But that was just the warm-up. When Aerosmith walked in, something clicked. He didn't try to control their sound, he listened. That's how Toys in the Attic, Rocks, Get Your Wings, and Draw the Line became timeless. The band trusted him so much, fans started calling him their unofficial sixth member. His philosophy was simple. My job is to make the band's dreams come true, not mine. Then came a moment that feels like pure destiny. As a Beatles-obsessed teen, he once snuck onto a cargo boat to Liverpool in 1965, got caught, made headlines, and was deported. Years later at Record Plant, the studio door opened, and John Lennon walked in looking for a quiet place to sit. They talked. Lennon invited him to a party. And just like that, a friendship began that would shape music history. He went on to engineer Imagine and co-produce Double Fantasy. But the night Lennon Ed is the part that stayed with him forever. They had been recording Yoko Ono's Walking on Thin Ice that very day. Normally, they left the studio together. They lived just 3 blocks apart. But that night he stayed back to finish work on another record. A small decision that weighed heavily on him for years. When the news broke, he and his wife rushed to Roosevelt Hospital and stayed until morning. Soon after, at Yoko's request, he appeared on late-night TV asking fans not to harm themselves over the tragedy. 2 days later, he and Yoko returned to the studio alone. They pulled tapes from the vault and sat until dawn listening to John's voice. That private listening session became the only memorial service ever held for Lennon. And through all of this, he kept working. Miles Davis, Alice Cooper, Cheap Trick, Blue Oyster Cult. Legends trusted him because he never tried to be the star. He stayed invisible so the music could shine. Now he's gone. But if you've ever turned up an Aerosmith track, felt chills listening to Imagine, or heard the raw edge of 70s rock done right, you've heard his fingerprints. The quiet man behind loud legends who proved that sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one you never see.